Michael, we're talking about fasting. You've written a book about fasting, and it's called Fasting, Rediscovering the Ancient Pathways. It's a great book, and I think it's something that every believer needs to get their hands on because it's a part of a well-rounded spiritual life. I do want to give you some of the common objections that I know people are going to raise to this and hear your response to these things. One of them is, you talked about earlier, you talked about fasting and the price that you had paid and so forth. Some would say, this sounds like legalism. This sounds like you're taking credit for something that should only belong to the grace of God and the goodness of God. How would you respond to that? Is this legalism? Is this you trying to earn something with your works and your prayers?
Sure. Rather than give you an opinion, I'll turn it back to the words of Jesus. In Revelation, when Jesus comes to John, one of the things that he tells them is, repent and return to the works you used to do at first, because you have fallen. You have fallen out of a place of love. And in order to return, repent, realize you're falling away, and then go back to the works. Go back to the works you used to do at first. If fasting is anything, it's just a consistent posturing of our life to stay in love with Jesus. I find that without fasting, my heart is prone to wander into so many other lovers. My heart is prone to be given over to so many lesser attractions and so many lesser persuasions, so many lesser, let's say, pleasurable things in life. Jesus was saying, do the works you used to do. Anyone who tells you that there's anything out of life worthy to be gotten without hard work is not telling you the truth. Even to get money out of an ATM, there's work that you have to do. You can't simply stand in front of the ATM and with your own desire to get what's on the inside on the outside. Desire is not bringing the money out of the ATM. Desire alone has never been enough. Desire attached to works, desire attached to discipline, desire attached to hard work at time, and the price to be paid. If it were easy, everybody would do it. And I find that most, because the issue is not, do I have all of God that there is to have? We know theoretically, theologically, doctrinally, we were given all of God that there is to get whenever we came unto this wonderful and glorious salvation. My question is not, do you have it? My question is, how much of it are you experiencing on a daily basis? Because this is where I find the separation in the two crowds. Many, for a lack of experience, try to explain that lack of experience, and we have to justify it somehow. And in the justification of it, because if you are not experiencing what you claim to experience, you have to give an explanation for it. This is where all of these other beliefs have come from. And I've just chosen to believe that God is who he says he is, and that if it's in there, I want it. And he said, when you do it this way, and I'm here to be found. And I have found him when I've done it the way that he said to do it.
Where does the grace of God enter into this conversation?
I would say that the grace of God, first and foremost, is empowerment to live and look like Jesus. It's the empowerment to be freed from our eyes being focused on ourselves and to give a greater attention to the risen Son. Grace on your life should be doing several things, but of those things, there are a few important things. It should be causing you to look more away from yourself and more to Jesus. It should be causing you to lay down the I in your life. Paul said it's no longer I that live, but it's now Christ who lives in me. It should be causing you to surrender the I and the pursuit of the I in your life, and the grace in your life. If it's going to lead you to look more like him, to live more like him, then it's going to lead you into the place of fasting. It's going to empower you, because if Jesus is your pattern, Jesus fasted. And Jesus said, when I go, my followers will be found fasting. Empowerment to fast is there for those that are willing to separate themselves from the excuses and get into what a life of following Jesus looks like as he prescribed it.